All right, folks, welcome back. This is Sheepdog Smokey, and I've been waiting on this for a while because we've been getting hints and teasers about this for a long time. But according to BPR, Nunes sending 8 criminal referrals up to 24 people to DOJ over Trump witch hunt says he was waiting for Barr confirmation. It's a good day for those who have been waiting for the slow wheels of justice to turn on those in the Obama administration for their roles in the handling of the Trump Russia investigation. Today, Representative Devin Nunes, Republican from California and ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, announced he is ready to send 8 criminal referrals to the Justice Department and the Attorney General. He has been teasing such referrals for months, but said that there were delays as investigators kept coming up with more individuals who may be involved in the crimes. This week, he expects to pass the information that has been uncovered to the DOJ. This dramatic and welcome development comes with Republicans forcefully pushing for release of documents that can shed light on the origin and spread of the Trump-Russia hoax. The president recently stated that he would release all of the FBI FISA applications aimed at surveilling one of his aides, as well as other documents. Appearing on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo, Nunes talked about the alleged misconduct during the Trump-Russian imbroglio. He said that the referrals will be for leaks of classified information to the media, for manipulating intelligence, and for misleading FISA court judges with regard to the largely debunked Steele dossier. Nunes was not about to reveal names of Obama officials involved in the referrals, but he did state that there are 5 government officials he believes lied to or misled Congress or leaked classified material. Indicating he has been working on the referrals investigation for more than 2 years, Nunes said that as time drew near when he was ready, he decided to wait for the confirmation of Attorney General William Barr. We've prepared this week to notify the AG that we're prepared to send those referrals over, Nunes said. First of all of these are classified or sensitive. 5 of them are what I would call straight up referrals, so just referrals that name someone and the specific crimes. Excuse me. Those crimes are aligned to Congress, misleading Congress, leaking classified information. So 5 of them are those types. There are 3 referrals that I think are more complicated, he added. So on the first one is FISA abuse and other matters. We believe there was a conspiracy to lie to the FISA court, mislead the FISA court by numerous individuals that all need to be investigated and looked at. And we believe the pertinent statute is the conspiracy statute. The second conspiracy is one involving manipulation of intelligence that could also ensnare many Americans, or ensnarl many Americans. The third is what I would call a global leak referral, said Nunes. There are about a dozen highly sensitive classified information leaks that were given to only a few reporters over the last 2.5 years plus. So, we don't know if it's actually been any leak investigations that have been opened, but we do believe that we've got pretty good information and a pretty good idea of who could be behind those leaks. Nunes specifically named a series of known horrific leaks, including the leak of conversations between Trump and the leaders of Australia and Mexico, and the transcripts of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's calls. The 8 criminal referrals could, in fact, involve more than 8 people, Nunes commented. He said that a conspiracy referral could involve 2 dozen people. In addition, he said that more referrals could be coming. I think it's impossible to ignore. If the Mueller team was busting people for lying to the FBI, there are some pretty simple times when people lied to Congress for the sole purpose of obstructing our investigation, Nunes pointed out. The American people have only seen the pieces that have been declassified so far, Nunes said. There's still more information. This was their insurance policy. A lot of people think the insurance policy was just the overall investigation of the Trump campaign. It's actually much more conspiratorial than that. There was exculpatory information. It's not hard to imagine many of the names in the referrals. No doubt they will be revealed in short order. Now, of course, this is speculation here that those people listed there by Desert Dweller may be referred. But in the end, we've had over 2.5 years of Robert Mueller investigating so-called criminal collusion with Russia, with the aim being to sway the 2016 election. all they've come up with are Russian hacker trolls that supposedly purchased social media ads. And while I agree that no one should be able to, or should ever, try to influence another country's election, you cannot say that someone doing it is collusion, because you have to be able to prove the crime. And for all intents and purposes, there actually was no crime to be proven. We had speeches by then candidate Trump where comments were made, but none of that actually proves anything other than the man knows how to work a crowd. Now we have this. We have known for more than 2 years that information leaked out of the investigation in Congress whenever it was pertinent to a story that they felt might just help their push to overthrow the government. Now, more than ever, we need to know who was leaking, what they leaked, and we need them to be on record as to why. I personally believe that if anyone, like when we saw Lois Lerner do this, if they plead the fifth, that should, in many cases, raise the question of why aren't you testifying? The Fifth Amendment is literally there so that you do not have to incriminate yourself. Now, yes, you cannot convict someone because they refuse to incriminate themselves, but when Lois Lerner did it, of course, all the Democrats, well, it's over, she's not going to testify, we just have to move on. But anytime someone that they did not like pled the fifth, they just hounded and hounded in the media about why aren't they talking? What are they hiding? And it's this double standard that has to end. It just does. We've had 2 years of Democrats screaming that there's just obvious collusion. Just impeach, just impeach. And now that we've had that 2.5 years of investigation that have come up with nothing, we're moving on to new conspiracies that Bob Mueller, well, there's more to the report than AG Barr will release, and he's hiding it, or Mueller is a Russian agent, or he was somehow compromised, or any number of other conspiracies to keep their push to overthrow the government alive. For almost a century, the Democratic Party has tried to impeach every Republican president because, of course, in their mind, no one should ever have power but them. It makes absolutely no sense for anyone to support a party whose ultimate goal is to overthrow the government when they can't win, to rig the system so that they always win, which is why they're pushing for the elimination of the Electoral College. They know it is not a bad thing. They know the reason it's there. And that's exactly why they want it gone. They want New York and California to be able to decide every election from here on. They want to repeal the First Amendment so that they can silence those who do not obey them. Of course, the Second Amendment is right there at the top of the list as well, because they need us disarmed before they can rule. Of course, they're pushing for the end of the Fourth Amendment with their supposed red flag bills and their defense of spying on Americans who they believe might actually beat them in an election. We need to stop all of this. And right now, Devin Nunes is doing what he needs to do. He is not law enforcement. He is legislative branch of government. But his committee has unearthed information that should be forwarded to relevant law enforcement, in this case the Attorney General, because it involves very high-ranking government officials. Now, I expect in the next few days, maybe a week or so, to hear prominent liberals crying over how partisan this is. And, well, because we ran an investigation, they're doing the same thing. And all of these referrals are just punishing people who would not bow to him. And the media will lap it up. And honestly, I don't want to hear endless stories about this. We will, at least from the liberals in the media, because that's all they'll be able to talk about. Because in this instance, they won't have anyone to leak the information to them. This is going straight from Devin Nunes, and he knows exactly who in the House of Representatives and Senate or anyone else knows about what he is sending to Attorney General Barr. it will then be in the hands of the Attorney General and the DOJ. They will know exactly who is given access to this information. My personal thoughts are, when you know exactly who has information and that information is illegally leaked, every single person should be brought up on charges of leaking that information illegally. Then, find the one who pleads the fifth. That person tells you who to investigate. You can't make them talk, but you can then, because you have a strong amount of evidence because they won't talk, as opposed to the others who swear under oath they didn't do it, you can begin investigating further. I personally don't expect to hear anything of substance until this is over in the Attorney General's office. Once that happens, of course, the AG will release statements or will charge individuals. And from there, we'll just have to wait to see what happens. But I've talked about this long enough. Let me know what you think, but keep the comments classy and keep them civil. We don't learn from arguments, we learn from debate. As always, make sure to like the video and please hit that subscribe button as well as the notifications so that you're kept up to date on everything new coming out, as well as stories like this or the rabbit holes I'm trying to figure out how to properly explore. Until the next time, thank you and have a wonderful day.